Thanks for coming today. I want to welcome my colleagues in government from the town of Brighton, Supervisor Bill Maley, from the town of Pittsford, Supervisor Bill Smith, and from the Genesee Finger Lakes Regional Planning Council, a good partner in this effort, Matt Halliday. So today we're here to announce the exciting next steps in an initiative that I think can have a real impact on providing a cleaner, more sustainable energy future for our community, and demonstrates our region's willingness to collaborate, find progressive solutions for real problems. Like most Americans, at least in my opinion, I am discouraged with the lack of leadership at the national level on the issue of clean energy. I'm alarmed that the leader of our country, the leader of the free world, not only believes that global climate change is a myth, but I believe is actively working against efforts to make our energy future cleaner and greener. Now more than ever, I think it is up to communities at the grassroots level, local governments, to take the lead in charting us on the right course on the issue of energy and climate change. The concept of community choice aggregation, or we will refer to it as CCA, is not new. It has been in an application in a handful of states throughout the country through a number of years. In its most basic form, CCA allows a government or collections of government to procure a default energy supply on behalf of the residents and small businesses. In most cases, the collective buying power provides a stabler and often lower cost of energy. New York State recently authorized CCA and has embraced it as a way to increase the demand for clean energy. In 2016, a pilot program in Westchester County known as Westchester Power was launched. Most communities participating in that, and there were, I believe, upwards of 20, selected the 100% green energy supply. The success of that program, and I'll note, nearly $10 million in savings for ratepayers in those municipalities over 2 years, has helped pave the way for a statewide CCA program. The towns represented here today, and also I'll note the village of Pittsford is a participant in this initiative, have all passed a CCA local law as required by the state program, which allows us to each secure the services of an administrator to procure an energy supply. Earlier this year, all of these municipalities began speaking with one another and having a conversation of how we could collaborate and work together in this effort, similar to Westchester County. I'll speak for myself, but I believe that all of us up here share a common goal of not only lowering energy costs for our residents, but to provide a 100% clean, green energy supply as a default for RG&E customers. And let me be clear, that is our goal, to provide a 100% clean energy supply, whereas the traditional mix provided by RG&E is not that. It's a traditional mix of carbon-burning fuels and some renewables as well. This is a bipartisan effort, I think, because our future generations, particularly our unborn, have no partisan affiliation. What you saw in the White House yesterday, you juxtapose it against this. I think it's refreshing that leaders on both sides of the aisle don't think of party, but really think of what is best for our communities. I'm going to hand it over to my colleagues, but I just want to give a little bit more of how this would work, because there is a nuance to it. Under a CCA program, as I said, ratepayers would stay customers of the utility, in this case RG&E. RG&E would continue to distribute the energy supply and be the utility of the region. If we were to move forward with a 100% green energy supply, which would be the default supply, RG&E still would be in charge of the distribution. So what I'm trying to get at simply here is, Irondequoit, Pittsford, Brighton, we're not forming our own utility company. This is simply a mechanism by which we can use collective buying power to procure a cheaper default energy supply that ratepayers receive. I'm also going to note, ratepayers have the option would have the option, if we were to move forward, to opt out at any time if they do not want to participate, and they could continue to get their default RG&E energy supply, or if they're existing in an ESCO, could do that as well. So public information is key. As you can see, this is a nuanced program. It's something I think we're all committed to as we move forward. Certainly there's been interest on this topic amongst our residents, and we'll continue to hopefully be able to distill this in a way that they understand and recognize the potential and the promise, but also what might represent change here. I'm going to hand it over to my colleagues here. I thank them really for their leadership and partnership on this. We've worked to get to this point. It's going to continue to be a collaborative effort. From here, we will start a joint procurement effort and send out an RFP, a request for proposals or request for qualifications, and interview, and ultimately, if we choose to, secure the services of an administrator who would then go out and attempt to procure an energy supply. And I will also note the memorandum of understanding that we have all signed, all these municipalities or will sign, does not bind the municipality. If a municipality does not wish to continue forward, they can sever from it at any time. I hope that isn't the case, but really look forward to the next steps in this, and I think it holds great promise. I'm going to kick it over to Town Supervisor Bill Maley.
Thank you, Dave. Supervisor Seeley has really given a great summary of how a CCA works and some of the benefits that are available. But I do want to reiterate, I think as you see the three of us here, what we do on this and on really any number of issues here as town supervisors, we do collaborate. We do think it's important for our community's sake, for our residents' sake, to work across the aisle when we can find ways to conduct local government more effectively, more efficiently. We're not afraid to do that, and this is an example of that. In Brighton, we've just finished a very significant planning process. We have updated our comprehensive plan, Envision Brighton 2028. That plan was funded by a grant from the Cleaner, Greener Communities program. And because we participated in that program, sustainability was at the core of developing that plan, which is a roadmap for our future. I can't think of a better way to move the needle in our community towards sustainability than this CCA project. As Supervisor Seeley said, we are, I believe, each committed to procuring 100% renewable power. That's an important way to advance this very important mission that we have as a community. I talk often about sustainability being one of the core values of Brighton, and today we're walking the walk. That's exactly what we are going to be doing with this project. So, as Dave said, it's this is a memorandum of understanding. We do each have the opportunity. It is not formally binding at this point, but we do, I think, share this common goal moving forward for our communities to bring renewable energy as the primary energy source for our residents. So I thank you, Bill and Dave, for working together in this program, and look forward to a great future. And I'll turn it over now to Supervisor Smith.
Thank you, Bill. And yes, I thank Supervisor Seeley for providing such a lucid explanation of the CCA concept, which can be very superficially, at least, confusing at first. But when this idea first crossed my radar screen about 2 years ago, I was at a seminar where it was discussed. Immediately, I thought this looked like the kind of thing that could be a logical next step for our sustainability efforts in Pittsford. We have a long tradition of sustainability efforts going back at least 25 years, when we preserved 2/3 of the remaining farmland in Pittsford from development through our Greenprint plan. And over the years, as opportunities have come up, as learning on this area has increased and has created other opportunities for sustainability initiatives, Pittsford has been there. We were earned designation by the state as a clean energy community in 2017, and have moved on from that to build on it. And CCA is, for us, as for Brighton, as Supervisor Maley said, a logical next step. And at the core of the concept is leveraging the buying power of a large group of electric power customers to be able to get not only a better rate, but in particular for this group here, 100% green energy package that provides a more favorable rate. And therefore, it just makes sense that the bigger the pool of potential customers you have, the greater your likelihood for success when we pick a CCA administrator and send that administrator out to get a bid. So I'm delighted that we're able to go forward and leverage the buying power not just of one community but of four in doing this. And I think it bodes very well for going forward. It's a pleasure working with these two gentlemen on this and as on other projects, and I just want to reiterate that, thank goodness here at the municipal level we can get past partisan labels that have so corroded our public discourse at the national and even the state level. And you are looking at elected officials whose mission is to do the best that we can for the residents of our towns. And when you focus on things that way, it has a way of bringing you together. So my thanks to Dave and to Bill, to Mayor Corby of the Village of Pittsford, and we look forward to moving ahead with the CCA program.
I wanted to invite Matt Halliday here as well from the Genesee Finger Lakes Regional Planning Council, which serves as provides a service on behalf of the state and really educating municipalities and working with municipalities on initiatives like this. And both the bills, as I call them, talked about the Clean Energy Communities Initiative, which all three of us are certified communities. It's been a terrific program, which was largely brought to our attention by people like Matt. It's allowing us right now to construct solar panels on top of our public safety building across the parking lot, and it certainly provides wonderful opportunities. But Matt has been a great partner in this and helping steward this along, so I just wanted to invite him to say a few words.
Thank you, Dave. So I first want to thank, again, the leaders of Pittsford, Irondequoit, and Brighton for exemplifying the kind of really bold leadership that we need to see more of at the local level, but equally give kudos to the folks in those communities who spoke up at public meetings and forums. A handful of grassroots organizations like Mothers Out Front and the Rochester People's Climate Coalition have also been tirelessly doing their part to motivate us around collective action on this topic of CCA. I think today is especially salient given the recent update to the IPCC report and the dialogue that's been coming out of the 24th COP climate meeting in Poland. Despite historically high rates of public support for climate action, as well as the advancement of tools at our disposal, we are grossly underprepared for whatever changes may be in store for our civilization. The climate change issue is unique in that it weaves together really complex problems that touch on social and economic and environmental narratives. And there is something in the climate change narrative that impacts all of us. And so there have to be solutions out there that can help diminish those impacts for all of us. And what is so unique about community choice aggregation as a solution is the potential it has to vastly reduce carbon emissions while promoting democracy, participation, environmental justice, and really economic security. Climate change and energy action from the behavioral lens has been a very difficult thing to respond to as an individual, but CCA is a disruption in the energy world that shows us how governments and their constituents can have a lead role in the redesign of our future energy landscape. With a well-designed CCA, hundreds of thousands of citizens can create demand for renewable energy and green their consumption without having to do a thing except elect leaders who are willing to step up. CCA is a scalable solution that we can add to our tool belts as we continue to adapt to a changing world. So thank you to these towns and the other regions other towns in our regions who have seized on the opportunity to participate in something that could be potentially extraordinary. And I say let's keep striking while the iron's hot. So thank you.
Either of the four of us would be happy to answer any questions you might have. That'd be great. Anyone else? Oh, come on. What if I told you I designed this podium art? Okay, well, thank you for coming. We'll hang around for a while, and thanks to my partners in government.
We hope you enjoyed this special event coverage on ICAT, Government Access. We hope you enjoyed this special event coverage on ICAT, Government Access.
you.